You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management Studios.
We're awaiting a Supreme Court ruling any minute now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We got a tip yesterday on Sunday afternoon that we would get an opinion today, and that is out of character for the court. Normally, they would have told us on Friday if we were getting something today.
So Fox's Shannon Bream says it's widely believed this is the Colorado versus Trump case.
About whether Colorado had the right to try to boot President Trump from the ballot under this theory of the 14th Amendment that he had committed insurrection.
Now, the former president has not been charged with that specific crime over the Capitol riot, but he has two election-related indictments.
Colorado and Maine have both taken action against him. They're both part of Super Tuesday. Then Illinois added to that last week. So it all comes down to this. All the states are waiting for this.
Former Trump Organization Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg is in court this morning in New York to plead guilty a second time.
While Weisselberg, who is 76, is expected to concede that he lied on the witness stand at the former president's recent civil fraud trial, he is not expected to cooperate against him. There's no word on how many or what kind of charges Weisselberg faces. His loyalty to the former president has already cost him his freedom once with a guilty plea in a tax fraud case, testifying against the Trump Organization and spending nearly 100 days jailed at Rikers Island.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. We mentioned Super Tuesday. There are 16 contests tomorrow after North Dakota's Republican caucuses today. Former President Trump could win them all. Senator Tim Scott, who dropped out of the race that endorsed him, tells Fox.
He's going to run the tables. This election will be over tomorrow night. He will be our nominee.
But there was the first Trump loss in Washington, D.C. Nikki Haley won with 63% of the vote. And we're just getting this in from the Supreme Court, a ruling in favor of former President Trump in his appeal of the Colorado ballot disqualification. This means that the Trump name would be on the ballot, as the former president had called the case election interference. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light. Featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at Eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at Downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman to save money.
We need a new stuntman.
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. What a great day. It is Monday. We can get it all right. We've got a whole week to get it right, folks. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Boy, I'm loaded up. Loaded up with some state news, loaded up with some economic news, loaded up with some national news. By the way, just in, I'll have all the detail before we get to my special guest. Supreme Court rules Trump cannot be kicked off of the Colorado ballot. Cannot. Supreme Court. That means nobody can do it. Now, they may read that differently, but that means nobody can do it, which is, by the way, a Democrat party ploy, the party of filth, the party of hate, the party of control, everything in your life. That's them. Anyway, let's jump back to the state of Louisiana. It's an honor to have Natural Resource Chairman Brett Guyman joins us. Brett, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Moon. How are you?
Doing great, man. First of all, thanks for taking a few minutes. I know it's been hard to catch up with you with between your work and between the legislature. You're kind of on a run right now. And I know today's bad, so I'm only going to keep you about 8 to 10 minutes. A little bit. Yeah. And it's a twofold. I want to comment on something y'all working on with all this green new craziness coming on through your committee. But before I get to that,
I kind of figured that was coming.
Yeah, well, I will save that for the end. But before I get there, your comments on the special session that we just saw, where y'all passed out a lot of things that Jeff and some of the folks wanted to hear. It's probably not all done. Probably be some more stuff that we add. But just your overall thoughts on the progress dealing with the crime bill.
Well, look, Moon, the governor ran on that issue. I mean, if you think about the Jeff Landry campaign, I think the biggest thing that people would remember is he ran on the issue of crime. And he came from the AG's office, so it's a natural fit for him. It's his wheelhouse. He understands it. And I don't know if you watched his opening remarks at the special session for the crime session. And, he did a fantastic job presenting his view on what needed to be done. And you could tell that it was in his wheelhouse and like he really believes what he's doing. The Republican dominance in the legislature now, we have supermajorities on both sides. It was a very smooth session. I mean, the bills went through seamlessly. Very few amendments got on, if any. It's just a new day over there right now. We're so used to having to fight for every inch of ground. Yeah. And now it's coming much more naturally because we have a Republican governor and a dominated Republican legislature. So my overall view is we got constitutional carry, we finally got it. And I'll tell you, that's one thing people around the state would tell you that they wanted to see done. The rest of it, it's not my area of expertise at all. Sure. I know that he consulted with people who law enforcement and the judicial folks and others to see what can we do to help with this crime issue. And look, I mean, Moon, all we can do from here is hope that this helps. I mean, that it helps us get this problem under control.
Did you feel like y'all addressed, I heard the left, of course, the left and the advocate, and I'll get to it later. They're not for anything. They can't figure anything wrong with this. So what they're doing is talking about the money. Okay, but when Bel Air was increased Medicaid spending, they never questioned how much more money y'all had to spend. Would you agree with me? Medicaid expansion wasn't free. Was it free?
Look, we got fiscal hawks all over the building now, don't we? Isn't that something?
It's amazing. All of a sudden,
you can't walk down the hall without running into a fiscal hawk.
The media's fiscal hawk since Jeff Landry got in. But how about Bel Air was walking out his last day or two and saying, "Yeah, we're gonna have paternity leave for all the state workers now." So men can go home for 6 weeks and get paid. Say how much did it cost?
If you remember back in the Jindal days, he didn't want to do Medicaid expansion because he said we couldn't afford it, and he was right.
Absolutely.
And so all of a sudden we used a little bit of excess revenue to deal with some crime issues, and all of a sudden we have fiscal hawks running all around the building now saying, "Oh my gosh, we're spending money we don't have." Well, quite honestly, excess revenue is recurring money. It wasn't one-time expenditures on recurring expenses. You could make the argument we grew government, but if you look at the whole picture of what the Landry administration is proposing, they're talking about streamlining government. He went to the agencies and said, "Show me where we can reduce our expenditures," because we know that we have a shortfall coming. I'm okay if we increase $90 million on something that is important as long as we're offsetting that somewhere else and hopefully even more. So I think you have to wait I would say this, Moon, let's wait until May or June when we leave session, and then let's talk about where we ended up financially. You and I may be just as mad as everybody else. I don't know, but I'm hopeful that we streamline government and we reduce the growth in government, because that's what it's all about. That's the bottom line.
By the way, if they'd have listened to the 36 last year to turn into 19, you'd have more money too. If they just had to listen to what you and the other 18 people actually stood. I know you had 36 early, but you ended up with 19.
Hey, I noticed none of those out there now, including those in the media writing about the money issue, were helping us last session.
No.
They were nowhere to be found.
No, I'm going to get to this later. I'm just bringing this up, making sure I'm right about this, because I'm falling out laughing at the hypocrisy of the media and some of the elected officials who, like you said, fiscal hawks all over now. That's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're flying in the halls, man. You have to duck. They're flying in the hall.
No, I mean, I love it, man. I'm just sitting there going, wow. All of a sudden, they're going to right the ship now. They're going to watch it now that Landry's the governor. But they didn't watch it under 8 years of Bell, and they spent, well, I got to tell you, hell, you were there for some of it. You watched it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no doubt.
I got to ask you a quick question. I saw what they had, and I really was going to get in touch with you to have my climate czar, who's a professional meteorologist, on this green new crap and all this stuff and questions. So I know there was a committee meeting, or there's one to come, probably a lot more, dealing with all this. What are you trying to do with the committee meetings, dealing with the craziness? It's my words, not yours, of carbon capture and all the stuff that we're watching now.
Well, and Moon, the big shift for me is after all these years in the legislature, I'm now chairman of Natural Resources Committee, and while I served 8 years on that committee before, really my wheelhouse has always been the budget. So I'm having to kind of shift, into a new area for me. And so I'm trying to learn, like everyone else, as much as I can about all the issues the Natural Resources Committee deals with. In fact, we have a meeting Friday to talk about how to bring the oil and gas industry back. So it touches a lot of things, wildlife and fisheries and water rights and everything. But one of the issues that is controversial, of course, is carbon capture. And so we had 2 days worth of hearings. They were educational only. It wasn't a for and against, or, hey, I can't stand it, or hey, I love it. It was, what is carbon capture? What are the benefits of it? What is it supposed to do? What are the concerns? And really trying to learn how we best manage that, because the federal government has implemented the tax incentives for industry to do carbon capture. Mm-hmm. And Louisiana is a prime spot because of because of where we are, and that's a detailed conversation in itself, but it's coming to Louisiana. It's already here. And so I think what I wanted to have happen was to learn about all of the pieces about carbon capture. Whether you like it or not is not the issue, but just to learn about it, and then how can we best handle it and manage it to make sure that, are there any risks? Are there any dangers? What about the eminent domain? Property rights. There's just so many things around that topic that I wanted to have, as chairman, I wanted to have a meeting that lasted 2 days. I think we had about 10 hours of hearings, and we just brought in people in their areas of expertise and just asked questions and learned. There was no agenda. It was just really to kind of get that information out there so we had a better understanding. So as we see legislation, we can deal with it in the best way.
Well, I want you to do me a favor, since you're the natural resource guy. Have one where we can have both sides of, is this real? Is this not? And I want to come and I want to watch, but I want to bring my buddy Stephen Parr along and the people that know this is the biggest hoax ever.
I don't really. This is just my observation, and I'm new in this position, so I've still got a lot to learn. I'll be the first to tell you that. My observation is that there's not a whole lot of people walking around saying that carbon capture is working. If that's the word you want to use.
I'm agreeing with that. They're walking around saying, "Look at the money I got or credits I got."
No,
that's it.
No, you're right. But it's sort of like the government is doing an incentive program for people to do this, and they're doing it. And there are some, I will tell you this, I did learn, and I'll come back on your show and talk more in depth about this at another time, but I did learn there are some good side benefits that industry can do by doing the carbon capture process that they couldn't do otherwise. So again, I'm not here promoting it. I'm just saying that.
You're promoting it. You're promoting on the wrong show, brother.
No.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. That's 100% money because I've talked to him privately. It does nothing. It creates nothing, and it's not going to ever create anything. It's not, Brett. It's never going to create anything. And by the way, ask them: is prices of energy going to get lower with all this or go up? Will it be rationed one day? I predict they can't answer that, but I can. It will be rationed, and it will cost us a lot more. All this is printed money, brother, and the price of the store is going up because of spending money on crazy.
I don't know that anybody's arguing with you on some of that. In fact, one of the people at the table said that they couldn't do this without the tax incentives. It's not a profitable business if the government isn't incentivizing it, but they are incentivizing it, and so therefore, to them, it becomes an opportunity, as you said, to make money because they can do byproducts from that process that they can sell at a profit, et cetera. So, I think that's where we are, is we're trying to manage what's coming. And, the argument of whether you like it or you don't like it is certainly debatable. And I think most people don't think it actually, that it actually needs to be done, but it's being done.
Yeah,
I think that's where we are.
I know. I'd just like for you to have one good meeting with the pros and cons. I want to just come watch.
I think we will. As soon as we have a piece of legislation, assuming we will, and I don't know that we will, but if we have a piece of legislation dealing with carbon capture, then the floor is open for proponents and opponents, and I think you're going to hear the two sides of carbon capture at that point. It just wasn't what I had asked.
No. That's why I ask. But when you do and they have it, just let me know when, because I'd like to get the right people in front of you. That's all.
Absolutely. Before you hang up on me, I need to shift gears and talk about one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Do I have time?
Yeah. You got time for me to take a quick break and we'll come back with 6-7 minutes?
Okay.
All right, let me do that because I don't want to. My affiliates need to get out. Brett Guyman, Representative Brett Guyman, head of Natural Resources. He is the chairman. We'll take a break. Be right back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
As Louisiana's only fiberglass manufacturer and fabricator, C-Safe Fiberglass Grading and Structural Systems has provided corrosion-resistant products to the Gulf Coast for over 45 years. Our fiberglass grading, cable trays, and structural shapes are ideal to replace corroded, rotting building products and can be custom fabricated by the best fiberglass craftsmen in the world, right here in Lafayette. Contact C-Safe or visit our website at csafe.com. That's SEA like the ocean, SAFE.com.
Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.One and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.One and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.One. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could? Protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases. Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com. Hello, Acadiana. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Just a few minutes left in this segment. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Brett, thanks for Brett Guyman, my special guest. He is Representative Guyman. He is also head of Natural Resource Committee. He's the chair. Brett, okay, you wanted to bring something else up, and I wanted to give you time.
Oh, I appreciate it, but I thought of something else I wanted to tell you too while I was on hold. But I haven't left the budget discussion either. I do have legislation dealing with the growth in government, limiting the growth in government. So I'll get to at least inject some of my thoughts into that, even though I'm not on the committee anymore.
Good.
Instead of talking about expenditure limit, now I talk more about redfish limits. But either way, it's still, both are very important. But Moon, I wanted to tell you the total shifting gears away from politics, but what Will Wade has done with the McNeese Cowboy basketball team, we are just on fire over here. This community, we've had so many things happen to the Southwest Louisiana region, since COVID and Laura and Delta. I mean, all the different hurricanes and the floods and the ice storms and just all the things that we have been through. And then this has just brought this community together, and I just wanted to promote and say how proud I am of the McNeese Cowboys. If anybody who's got a chance to watch these guys play, they are amazing. We think and hope they're going to win the Southland tournament. They already won the regular season championship last night or Saturday night, sole possession of that. But we're hoping they win the Southland Conference championship. That would be next Wednesday. And if they do that, of course, they'll be in the March Madness tournament. So we're just on fire over here.
Aren't they about 28-3 or 27-3 or something?
They are. They've lost three games, and but they have beat the likes of Michigan and others. They've done some things that we've never done in the history of the program.
Well, let me ask this question: do they feel like if they don't win the tournament, they will get snubbed because of the conference?
Well,
I mean, 27-28 wins is a lot.
I think we have to win, but I also read an article by an ESPN writer that said McNeese ought to be in the conversation for an at-large if they don't win. But you know how that goes. I mean, they may snub us, but with Will Wade being the coach, he certainly has national attention on that. Sure. We just gave him a new contract to hopefully hold him for another year or two. But he's got some play. Shoemate is on ESPN highlights just about every night. Mm-hmm. He's got. It's just anyway. I just wanted to bring that up. I know it has nothing to do with politics, but man, it's really brought our community together. And the Legacy Center is sold out. Sold out. I think since the UL game and toward the midway point of the season, we have sold out every home game.
Do y'all get the conference tournament at home too?
We do.
Okay.
We do.
I think that's big.
At home.
I think that's big.
It is big. We haven't lost at home. We haven't. Yeah.
Do y'all have to play? Do y'all have to play more than 2 games to win it all? I know y'all will probably get a bye or 2, but do y'all have to play more than 2 games to win it?
We go straight to the semifinals on Tuesday, so we have to win 2 games: the semifinals and the finals. And
is there any
team?
We're
at home.
Is there any team in the conference that gave y'all trouble that could give you trouble?
Well, we lost to Texas A&M Corpus Christi away at their arena. I'm sorry, I take that back. We beat them on a last second shot. We lost to Southeastern away at their arena, and so I think our biggest concern is Texas A&M Corpus. They match up with us very well. We did beat them at home. We're confident we'll beat them again, but
I like good stories. I like good stories. That's a great story. I know. I've been following. I got a son that follows all this, so it kind of keeps me up to date. Didn't you go to the UL McNeese game? Who won that one? Yeah. My son said McNeese won, but UL should have won. So anything you want to tell him?
Tell
His name is Walker. You can tell him.
Hey, listen to this. Y'all got 6 technical fouls on us for some stupid nonsense like that. So don't come over here with all that UL should have won. Come on. We came back from 11 points with like a few minutes left in the game. Come on.
That's what he told me. I said, we should have won that game. All right, Brett, I'll deal with you with carbon capture later. But thank you so much. God bless. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes. It's always good to hear from other parts of the state. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Take care, bud. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I take a break. Listen to Moon Griffon Show. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, my friend at Schumacher Homes, dedicated to making sure the custom home building is within reach for everyone. Your custom-built home. And Schumacher Homes does a great job of building custom homes. They're going to provide you with a dedicated team of specialists who give you choices and tools necessary to create your home and your dream home. The new year is a perfect time, right now, perfect time to take the first steps toward realizing your dream home. Schedule your free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting today by calling or visiting SchumacherHomes.com, SchumacherHomes.com, celebrating over 3 decades of crafting affordable custom homes. Schumacher Homes has always made it their goal to make the home building journey enjoyable, simple, and hassle-free. They're going to provide a devoted team to build your home. They're going to keep you up to date. Any tricks in the armor, they're going to come right to you and say, hey, we got a problem, we got a situation. Schumacher Homes will make it like you want it. SchumacherHomes.com, and let the professionals give you a free, no-obligation design and pricing meeting right now. Folks, remember the name All Field Equipment, allfieldequipment.com. When I say All Field, that's ALLfield.com. All Field Equipment, founded in 2016 by my good friend, Mr. Bill Allen, with over 50 years' experience in the oil and gas industry. Hey, this is a great company to do business with. Whether it's production equipment, control valves, controller, glyco pumps, chemical pumps, chokes, Wilden pumps, Barton recorders, Allfield has new, rebuilt, and parts. Allfield handles some of the industry's top brands such as Norseal, Fisher, and Kimray. On the supply side, Allfield has anything from Q-tips to appliances to general Allfield supplies. Allfield is one of the largest suppliers of bottled water in the Gulf. And remember, Allfield never changes transportation. Like the name says, Allfield has it all, covering the Architects area and the Gulf of Mexico. Allfield Equipment, 337-837-1003, 337-837-1003.
Looking for a place?
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% List Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
Oh, welcome back, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. It's the Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice in the breaking news of the day. In the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Donald Trump. Colorado cannot kick him off the ballot. The primaries today. He's not on the ballot, right?
Right. No, it's
I mean,
Colorado.
I thought Colorado today or tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Super Tuesday.
Is he not on the ballot?
I think it restores him. It's supposed to restore him to the ballot, but we're up against the wire. I'm not exactly sure how that works.
How the hell do you do that in one day?
Witchcraft, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but Trump,
anyway, this is the big issue.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing about the Supreme Court, it was 9-0. Even the most extreme leftist Looney Tunes voted that they cannot take Trump off the ballot. And by the way, Joe, because you read it is why I brought you in. I read pretty much, but I got to believe this affects every state. Maine had pulled him off.
Yes.
And Illinois.
Yes.
So how does that affect them?
So the ruling itself, the majority opinion, the 9-0 opinion says basically states have the power to disqualify candidates for state offices, but not for federal offices. Only Congress has the ability to disqualify a federal candidate from federal office under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
So that tells me that all the rest of the states get out of the way.
It basically ends that. Just that's the big takeaway from what the Supreme Court said. What?
And by the way, the state courts can't appeal to anybody. It just went to the highest.
Yeah.
Unless that God can come down and answer, it's not a higher court.
Yeah. So basically what the majority decided, I'm reading directly from the opinion now, because the Constitution makes Congress, rather than the states, responsible for enforcing Section 3 against federal office holders and candidates, we reverse what Colorado did. basically saying
that's pretty
this,
simple.
Yeah, it's up to Congress to disqualify. There are two things that they didn't answer, which are kind of leaving people with questions. One, they didn't answer the question of whether or not Donald Trump committed an insurrection, which,
by the way, has he been charged?
No, he hasn't. That's
how
one
the
of the
hell
big
can
things.
you say that he hadn't been charged? He hadn't been found guilty or none of that,
That's that pesky little due process
Yeah,
thing that's in the
but
Constitution.
to me, I know you're saying people are asking, how can you ask a question? You know,
Right.
if it hadn't happened.
Right. No, that's the point. The Supreme Court didn't even take that up. They can't rule on that because he's not been charged with it.
So somebody's not going to hire Walker because Walker may commit something in the future.
Right. Exactly.
Really?
Or he might be charged with something in the future. They're not going to.
Oh my God! I
Yeah.
mean, that's what's the other one? You said it was two things that were. That question was
they
answered to
also-
me pretty easy.
So the other one is whether or not the president is an office holder, because, and this gets really into the weeds on it, but basically, the idea is that all power flows from the executive. If you have an office in the federal government, that power flows from the Constitution, from the presidency. If you are appointed to an office or anything like that, you're appointed by the executive branch or you're elected by the people. But the executive, it's not clear based on the wording of the Constitution whether or not he's an office holder or whether the offices come from the executive
I'm
branch.
getting this out of Washington.
Yeah.
States removing Trump left him on the ballots nationwide, pending the outcome.
Yes.
At the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
So that
that sounds
answered
right.
that question. Colorado, when people go vote, the people that want to vote for Trump are going to be able to vote for Donald.
And that's one of the things that the Supreme Court, even the liberals on the Supreme Court, were very skeptical of. What they were asking is, you're saying that you have the right to deny somebody else the ability to choose who they vote for. We talk about a right to vote, and you're taking away their right to vote for who they want for.
Courts have always frowned on removing people off of ballots forever.
Yes.
Forever. And people not being able to vote. I mean, they frowned about that. I didn't say they always went about the right way, but they've always frowned against that. That's just a fact.
And say what you will about John Roberts. We have plenty of things to disagree with John Roberts over, but he is a guy who protects the institution of the Supreme Court, and he's not going to let the Supreme Court all of a sudden completely overturn all of that jurisprudence, that the idea that the courts shy away from.
I could talk about Roberts, but the same way I talk about Keegan and the rest of some of them, they bad.
Now,
but every now and then they're like a blind squirrel. They'll find an acorn.
The liberals on the court did have a concurring opinion, and they said, we agree with the decision, but we think that the majority went too far. They're basically saying, you're creating a bigger problem by saying only Congress can do this. We agree that Trump shouldn't have been removed, but for our own reasons. But by saying only Congress can do so, you're creating a bigger partisan problem. Amy Coney Barrett also had a concurring opinion, basically saying Congress made the right call here. This is what everybody should take away. No state has the ability to remove a federal office holder from the ballot, but the Supreme Court should not let itself be used as a political tool, and it should not use itself as a political tool.
Let me tell you something. The left is running that Supreme
Oh,
Court
absolutely.
over and over, and federal judges over and over again. We look at that and redistricting here. The left ran to Judge Dick, who Barack Insanity Obama put there, and she's jumping on everything. The courts are how the left always tries to win.
Yeah.
They don't win at the ballot box. They win at the courtroom, man. That's how they're going to win, because the ballot box is the popularity contest. They spend more money, they lie more. But it's a big win, I think, for the country.
Mm-hmm.
I'm voting against Joe Biden. I don't care who's on the other side of the ticket, but I don't think Biden's going to be on the side of the ticket. I'm still convinced by the convention that will Trump still be there? I don't know. I don't know what else they got planned for him.
Mm-hmm.
To break him, to crush him, to put him in jail. All this is related around what we watch in the Supreme Court decision.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care, Joe, if you like Trump or not. Throw all that out. It's all related in the politics of the left. How can we destroy somebody's life that's in our way from what we want to do?
I mean, you can tell the left really, really, really wants the court, because the way they've gone after Clarence Thomas. They've upped their attacks on Clarence Thomas in recent years.
Look what they did. I'm not a gigantic fan of Kavanaugh anymore. Just go back to that.
Right.
The courts, the left wants to tell everybody what to do, control their lives.
Yeah.
And until the people that vote that way understand your life will be so controlled one day, and start voting different than you vote for these Democrats, you're going to deserve everything you get. The problem is you're taking us with you.
Yeah, and you really need guys. I mean, you even need guys like Kavanaugh and Roberts on the court because they want to protect the institution of government not being used as a weapon, but as a mere tool of governance. You have guys like Clarence Thomas. You need a Clarence Thomas type. You need a guy who is like Scalia was. You need somebody who's just like these conservative justices we
Scalia
have.
was still.
Oh, man. Man,
we miss him in this day and time. It's no doubt about it. Well, once again, 9-0 vote. Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative all voted the same. It was by far the right decision. Y'all had said a lot of people were watching the questioning at the time that it was amazing that people on the left was still bombing people from Colorado. What the heck? What do y'all think y'all doing?
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, if you get Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson, the two most far left people on the bench, to question what you're doing, you've probably lost that case.
I think the Democrat Party in general have been so far out there.
Yeah.
I just wish the voters could see that. I mean men can get pregnant now? Really? Democrat Party philosophy.
I mean, Sonia Sotomayor is the type of person that the left, when Barack Obama nominated her, the left was like, hold up, really? You really want to go that? No, they didn't.
They didn't want her at
They
all.
were okay with Elena Kagan. In fact, conservative justices were also okay with Kagan because they knew that she was a deep thinker and they may not agree with her, but they knew that she was intelligent and brought something to the bench. Sonia Sotomayor is vapid.
We know what she's going to vote most of the time. Yeah. All right, Joe Cunningham, thanks for the latest Supreme Court ruling 9-0 in favor of Donald Trump. They got to leave him on the ballot. This is going to affect every state. And so let's roll. Let's quit the craziness. But anyway, I got to take a break. More to come. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Take a break. Be right back. From their humbling beginning, Dino Hardwoods is striving to provide superior service and quality products for their customers. Hey, I know Charles Altman. He does a great job. If you're looking for lumber, Dino Hardwoods stocks a large selection of domestic and import hardwood lumber and cypress. You ought to see their stuff. Exotic lumber, they got that as well. Trust in Dino Hardwoods when it comes to your exotic lumber needs right now. Molding, plywood, paint, and L products, they are ready for you. They got 3 great locations. The corporate office is right here in Broussard, Louisiana. There's an office in Shreveport on 2801 Valley View Drive and one in Tyler, Texas, 12492 Highway 155 North. Hey, if you're looking for something different and something new and somebody who will service you, it's Dino Hardwoods. I'm telling you, don't forget Dino Hardwoods. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Great locations. They can service you. They can deliver. DinoHardwoods.com. Check out this great Louisiana company. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
Need guidance?
But a milestone in the Griffon family today is my bride who had the accident with her knees. Had to go back to work today. I'm telling Walker, my son, laughing. She had to go back to work first time in 4 months. Don't y'all tell her I laughed. Please don't do that to me. I just think it's we're blessed, folks. We're blessed. We just don't know how blessed we truly are. Anyway, great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Tax and Wealth Management. I can't help it, folks. I can laugh if I want to. Someone writes, what does it say about what the law schools are turning out where the Supreme Court of Colorado and the legal authorities in these other jurisdictions thought they had the right to remove Trump from the ballot? They political. They could care less about the law. They could care less about they're looking to change this country. They're morally inept. They're morally clueless. That's what it means. Anyway, Trump, zero faith in the justice system, and the fact that we even had to take the case to the Supreme Court shows you how much trouble we are in our country. And it is. It's a lot of truth to it. But it was a great ruling, and, they're now trying to run Trump financially, going to try to run Trump physically. They've already tried to do that. The media has helped them with it. And it's a sin and a shame. Trump's got his ways. Some people don't like, I get it. But 90% of the stuff they did to this man is absolutely insanity. It's ignorant and it's crazy for them to hold that power. And by the way, the ones that are in power, they could just soon be in charge of China because they act just like them. Control your life. And that's what I try to keep explaining to people when the people that vote Democrat. People that vote Democrat, they nationally better start waking up. Your life, the Democrat Party wants to control every part of your life, what you eat, what you drink, the view you, how many kids you have, everything in your life. It's a total communism controlled party now. You keep voting because you think you're getting something. You ain't getting anything. You're getting crumbs. But this is what we come to. All right, Mike Johnson, Dodgers shut down for a week, but hard choice for the House Speaker lie hit. So they cut a deal for at least another week to survive the federal government with no shutdown. Folks, this is going to get so ugly for the United States of America and American people because they won't quit spending. I got so many stories today on this. Just story after story after story of, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but stories of all this money we continue to spend. And Mike's in a tough place because he has no help because he doesn't have a 218 votes. He's got about a 2-vote majority. And 3 times now, we've worked out funding for federal agencies. We broke. If it had failed this time, government would have shut down at 12:01 on Saturday, and House Republicans would have undoubtedly have been blamed. Yes. So I don't understand this. You put yourself in a position. If you keep spending money, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. And I'm saying stuff that nobody wants to realize till we hit the Great Depression again. That's what bothers me about all this green stuff, too. Or you can start cutting and slowing down the growth, but the government's going to shut down. Well, I'd rather the government shut down than my job. The problem is we made government God. It's our God. It's what we worship now. They got to have plenty of money to do what they do. What the hell do they do? Johnson said, speaking of fellow Republicans behind closed doors, according to people in the room, Johnson conceded that given a narrow majority, 219 Republicans in a chamber with 218 needed to get the majority. Passing funding bills for individual agencies will almost certainly need more time. Everything's more time. Everything's pushed back. Let me tell you the deal they're going to make next. I'm not fussing at Mike. I know Mike's got a tough position. I'm just telling y'all. The next bill they're going to agree to is going to go through election so everybody can get through the election so we ain't got to talk about it anymore. Don't make it any less. Don't make any less of a problem coming. It just doesn't. Johnson said to avoid the shutdown, he chose to buy time and circumvent conservative stuff by using parliamentary procedure that would require 2/3 vote allowing Democrats. So I know what Mike's trying to do, but Congressman, I love you to death, and I think you're the real deal. Somebody's going to have to step up and say no. If the American people want to continue this craziness, and we will, they ain't seen pain yet. Maybe America, I heard Bongino say, we ain't got in trouble enough yet. Maybe we need to get in trouble. And you hate to say that, though. I don't want the country to get in trouble. But it's no way to continue to run a country and run up this debt, this massive debt over and over and over and never stop. All this money you see in UL, I'll get to them. Oh, they're all glad. I'm watching the Green New Deal and Biden and them buying the oil and gas industry, buying the chemical plant, buying the university. They're going to come into a red state and turn it blue by craziness because we won't stop taking the money. Brett Guyman said something that was true. Moon is coming, and these guys are going to take the money. Yep, we're going to go down because of it. It's, I just don't understand, folks. Where's the grown-ups in the room? Somebody said, Moon, email me. Moon, and running out of option. My biggest fear is what they will try to physically harm Trump. If that happens, if hell will break loose. I know. But I've always said that the left will destroy anybody that gets in their agenda's way. That's communism, including wiping somebody off the earth. That's who they are. Hateful, filthy, nasty party. It's who they are. It's who their leaders are. Not everybody registered Democrats are like that, but they don't understand what they're voting for. No, the Trump thing is they've done everything. They'll try to break him. They'll try to jail him. If they got to go after his children, they're going to go after them too, because they're trying to do that too. That don't work, yeah, but one thing they can do. If the American people would wake up, the Democrats would lose 10, 12 Senate seats and about 100 House seats if the American would wake up. You could send a message like we've never sent. And this fall, we get to vote on a president. And I don't know what if the Democrats need COVID 0.70, they'll put it out there. If they got to invent a disease to kill people, they don't have a problem with it. They're going to do something. Anything they can do to beat Donald Trump, they would do and never bat an eye. They'll break the country. They'll break you and me. They don't care. Their only thing is power, and to have the power to run everything in this country. That's what the Democrats do. That's who they are. This ain't no fun party. It's a party they want anybody voting for them, they want to control your life, what you think, what you say, and they need you dependent. Well, I'm going to tell you this, if you are dependent, you're probably not well educated. Problem is these big government people, these big business people, I'm talking about my friends in business. How many of them are tied to a government check? When I heard Craig Romero, Moneybags, sit at this microphone, look at me, this is the way we always do it. You ever looked at the results? It's mind-boggling. And I wish Mike Johnson the best. But Mike, sooner or later, somebody said, well, they're going to shut the government down. They're going to blame the Republicans. They're going to blame the Republicans if we go through a depression, a great recession. They're going to blame Republicans. They're blaming, listen, look what they do at the border. They blaming Trump and the Republicans for the border crisis because they didn't pass a stupid bill Biden put out a few weeks ago. The problem with Biden has been for the whole 3.5 years he's been president. They blame it. They're going to blame him for everything, and the media's going to be right there to help him. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Anyway, man, I'm loaded up for the second. I do have some state stuff. I'll get to that as the program unfolds. Don't go nowhere, folks. By the way, they said our economy is growing. Why are the jobs upticking? Well, you got to read the articles. You got to find out what they're saying. And I'll get to that when we get back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
A show that's not immune to facts. The Dan Bongino Show here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
This is a Fox News alert, a Trump victory at the Supreme Court. I'm Dave Anthony, and the former president just wrote on Truth Social, it's a big win for America, and he told Fox the ruling is inspirational and unifying. The court keeps the Republican 2024 frontrunner on ballots across the country Super Tuesday and beyond.
All 9 justices agree Colorado cannot remove former President Trump from the state's primary ballot. An unsigned opinion concludes enforcement of the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause is the responsibility of Congress and not the states. The opinion not only resolves Colorado's ballot challenge, but also challenges in Maine and Illinois, where the former president was barred from the ballot. Justices will hear arguments next month over whether former President Trump has immunity from the Justice Department's election interference case
That's
against
Fox's
him.
Jared Halpern. The former chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, is in court in New York City. He just pleaded guilty again. 2 years ago it was to tax fraud. Today he's admitted to 2 counts of perjury in Weisselberg's testimony in the Trump civil fraud trial that left the former president with a fine nearing $500 million, and he is still working on his appeal in that case. Back to Super Tuesday, there are 16 Republican contests after the caucuses in North Dakota today. The former president could win them all, but he lost in Washington, D.C.'s primary. Nikki Haley scored her first win there.
Donald Trump put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years, more than any other president.
Vice President Harris will meet today with a member of the Israeli war cabinet. She's pushing for a ceasefire in Gaza, but Israel is skipping talks in Egypt.
Now, before the meetings took place, thousands marched here in Israel, calling for their loved ones and fellow citizens to be released. There are reportedly disagreements over what information Hamas is willing to provide. The Israelis are looking for a list of all hostages that are still alive.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. JetBlue will not merge with Spirit Airlines after the deal did not get clearance for takeoff. A federal judge blocked it, ruling it would hurt competition and increase prices. America's listening to Fox News.
When a service member or first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty, okay, who's there to help them or their families left behind? Who's helping our homeless vets and our nation to never forget 9/11? Well, that's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, and right now they can only continue this great work with your generosity. We hope you'll join all of us here at Team Hannity. Go to their website, commit to $11 a month. It's the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org. The letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Pure Talk believes in American values, and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today, and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Eleanor's diagnosis is acute myeloid leukemia.
This is a St. Jude moment.
Immediately when we got here, you get a nurse that walks around with you like for the first 3 days you're here to kind of give you the lay of the land and where to go. They know you're already drowning from the news that you're getting and why you're here. So they don't want you to have to figure stuff out by yourself. I know like you're here and you're not supposed to be happy or you're not supposed to smile, but it's hard not to when there's this giant community of strangers all working towards one goal. It doesn't matter where they come from, it doesn't matter what they believe, they are all fighting to end childhood cancer, and I think that's something that should be celebrated.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
South Louisiana's biggest St. Patrick's Day celebration is back. Patty in the Park, Saturday, March 16th at Park International, downtown Lafayette, presented by Bud Light. Featuring The Good News, 337, DJ Digital, and the People's Champ, Paul Law.
What it do is Power Wow, I'm the People's Champ.
Tickets available now at Eventbrite.com and all Legends locations. The only official after Patty party happening at Downtown Legends Patio. Official Patty in the Park t-shirt by Mike James Entertainment. Wristbands by The Ruins. Designated driver tent by Service Chevrolet.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. As Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Donald Trump kicks him in the teeth again. Actually, kicks him between the legs. Supreme Court rules, and all the left did too, that you can't pull him off the ballot. Let's see what they're going to try to do next. Because I'm telling you, they got 92 plans, hoping all of them work and one of them stops Trump. They ought to want him on the ballot. Much as they're going to lie about him, they may as well put him on the ballot. Ultimately, they put him on the ballot. Biden ain't running. There's no way. I missed on things before. I'd be the first to admit, but just no way. No way. Anyway, I'm glad. All right, let me, I was joking with Brett Guyman, a couple of things. Brett Guyman said, all kind of fiscal hawks now. This is what I wanted to point out. The hypocrisy of the devil's advocate with Bell, the guy they helped get there and keep there and defended him everywhere, and Jeff Landry. So Landry and them come in, they do a special session, and they just finished one. They did two, but they did a special session, the second one dealing with crime. Everybody knows it's a gigantic problem. All of a sudden, the advocate, the devil's advocate, and the left and the Democrat, they become fiscal conservatives. All of a sudden, they're worried about how they're spending the money. How much would Jeff Landry's crime law cost Louisiana? All of a sudden, fiscal hawks flying all over the place. But let me just back up. We had a governor for 8 years, worst governor we've ever had. When he expanded Medicaid, Medicaid wasn't just giving us money. It cost us hundreds of millions of dollars more to get more money. They never ask, where are we going to get this money from? Oh, no, you never heard one person in the advocate. Not one said, wonder where we're going to get the money from. When Bel Edwards walked out the door, he said, hey, guys, I'm going to grant paternity leave. That's men taking off when women have babies, which I think is outrageous. That's me. I'm old school. Outrageous. Bel Edwards just signs it into law. Now, there's a cost in that. There's a big time. We don't know if it's $1 million, $10 million, $30 million. We don't know that. But nobody asked. The advocate never lifted their voice to, hold up, Bell, don't do that. No, not a word. Jeff Landry has a crime special session. We have a crime problem. Matter of fact, it's safe to say the media don't even bring up the crime problem under Bell. They didn't want you to know they had a crime problem under Bell, but you knew you were smarter. You live it every day. World Crime Special. Okay, here it is again. Here's the advocate's staff editorial. Well, special crime session bills really make Louisiana safer. And when Bell did something, they never asked the question. When Bell said, let's do something, they were all for it. Jeff Landry and conservative Louisiana legislature will no doubt trumpet the just concluded special session on crime as a giant step forward in addressing top voter concern. We wish we could agree. No, it ain't Bel Edwards. Bel Edwards shut the state down. They agree with that. Bel Edwards put a pastor in jail. They agree with that. State Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. Bel Edwards was hush-hush on a Ronald Green death that happened under the state trooper. and didn't tell nobody till after the election, years after the election. They never had a problem with that. Johnny Anderson, a guy that Blanco and them fired because of sexual harassment. When Bell hired him and had to fire him because of sexual harassment, Advocate never worried about that. They didn't get upset about it. It's amazing. Change a governor, and all of a sudden, anything he does, they pound him. We wish we could agree. A few get tough steps, such as carjacking fentanyl dealers, are certainly welcome. But unfortunately, many of the huge changes that were rushed through the process less than 2 weeks are unlikely to make Louisiana safe. How do they know that? How have all of a sudden the advocate, the devil's advocate, who can't get nothing right, how do they all of a sudden know what's going to happen and what's not going to happen? It's worse. Some actually take us backwards to a time when Louisiana spent more money incarcerating more nonviolent offenders, but still experience high crime. No, it doesn't. See, the advocate won't admit that this crime spiked under who? Who was the governor when the crime started spiking in the state of Louisiana? I'll tell you who it was. The same one when out-migration started spiking. His name was Bell Edwards. You just don't like him. Nothing to do with that. Don't know the man, really. I watch his politics. They woke as woke can get. Cutting penises off a 10-year-old kid. That don't get me excited. It did Bell, because that's what Bell wanted. Bell wanted little boys to go in girls' bathrooms. I would say that's a no-no. No way. That was Bell. They defended Bell on that craziness. They defended Bell Edwards when he was getting rebuked in the veto sessions. I mean, it's just sad and hypocritical for the devil's advocate to be saying a word. That's the John George rag, the no-account piece of crap newspaper. And if you work for them, you got the problem, not me. So they worry about the cost all of a sudden. Didn't worry about the cost when Bell was spending money. The approach frustrated Landry's opponents and some good government groups. You know what the good government groups are? People like Poor and Cable. Good government groups. What have they ever done? The media built them up because they used them. Good government groups. Was it what's that stupid one that started in Lafayette that went out of business? Somebody can help me out. Blue something. It was the dumbest one they ever had. They already out of business. Good government. There ain't no good government groups out there. Not the ones that are watching our state government. They're lapdog groups. Cable and Poor, Blueprint Louisiana, that's them. They sit on the porch. They like lapdogs. Sit on the porch all day in the lazy sun. The 2017 bill was shot down. The crime, judicial reform. Nothing to it. Look, I don't want to have more people in jail. But if you tell me you're going to put criminals in jail, somebody's got to start somewhere. It didn't happen under Bell Edwards, and neither did the media ever stop at all to say how Bell Edwards was doing nothing about crime. This happened under his 8 years of looking the other way. Bell Edwards. But, of course, they never worried about that, did they? They didn't worry about that at all. All of a sudden, Jeff Landry gets in. He's spending more money. The devil's advocate is a fiscal hawk. Where was the advocate last year when the 36 Republicans only need 36 to shut down this unbelievable amount of spending? With all this federal money we had coming in, where were they then about fiscal hawks? They were nowhere to be found. They never said a word. Devil's advocate, the left, these same Democrats, they were getting their money and spending. All of a sudden, they fiscal hawks. Amazing. Flying all over the Capitol now. Fiscal hawks everywhere. They worry about the money. Why didn't they worry about it last year? Could have put a lot of it back. Paid off some debt. Real debt. They didn't do it. All right. Let's take a phone call. Jeanette Jeanette in Pineville. How you doing, Jeanette?
I'm doing all right. I listen at your show, and I've been listening about 2 years. And you straight up talk about what's going on in them Democrats. They're not right, and they are nothing but crooks. And everything that Joe Biden did for these 3 years he been in that White House is to destroy the United States. He ain't thinking about Americans. He's thinking about the homosexuals, the lesbians, abortion, and homosexuals in the military getting women pregnant because the men's that ain't had no surgery is living with the women's, and they were saying last night that whoever was in the position over them had to have them taken to get abortion, and he was going through a lot of stress, and then he had a heart attack and had to get a pacemaker put in. But everything that's going on in this world is ridiculous, and like you say, they ain't doing nothing but trying to destroy Donald Trump from one thing to another one. They constantly thinking about how they're going to try to do what they're trying to do. They don't go to sleep. They always thinking how they're going to do something.
Miss Jeanette, you are 100% right. They are only thinking of themselves. They're trying to destroy Donald Trump, and they're going to destroy him any way they can, and that's including wiping him off the earth. That's the new Democrat Party. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate the call. Well, I just want to let you know that it's funny how we got the fiscal hawks now who weren't fiscal hawks under Bill Edwards. They were spinner hawks. They spent every penny they could possibly spend, every single penny. And now, all of a sudden, woo, they're getting Jesus. Well, no, they ain't going that far. I wish they would. That would change everything. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number. We'll take a break. Be right back. Line One is a business telecom provider. Line One specializes in cloud-based communication with superior customer service. If you're frustrated with phone bills you can't understand, endless hold time to customer support, and phone system that is not meeting your needs, then you need to go to Line.1 and schedule a free consultation to advance your business phone system. Line One, technology with a human touch. Go to Line.1 and tell them Moon sent you. Again, that is Line.1. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you, or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks. Oh, they're good. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Oh, serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company, repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 I saw what the Kellogg's CEO suggested. If you're a cash-strapped family suffering under inflation, he said eat cereal for dinner. See, that's what they're going to go to. Well, you don't need that meat anyway. And a lot of the cash-strapped families suffering under inflation for printing money and giving money for the Green New Deal. Unbelievable. U.S. began adding $1 trillion in debt every 3 months last June. $1 trillion in debt every 3 months last June. But don't worry about it, folks. We got Green New money going to universities. Oh, don't worry about it. Piece of cake. Let's go to the phone lines. Give me James in Monroe. James, how you doing?
All right, yourself, sir.
Hanging in there.
My comment was, the Republican Party is really missing a real good opportunity right now, picking back on what the young lady before me said about how they're going after Trump.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Trump, I've been a Trump supporter since he ran the first time. I wasn't at first.
Yes, sir.
Because I was a Barack Obama, because I'm black. He's black, first black president. We was looking forward to it. He ended up, he sucked. but
hey, you nicer than me, but I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
Right. But as far as Trump goes, they're not getting their message into the black community, I believe, because largely they don't understand how a lot of blacks who are voters, they're not particularly, how do I say this in a nice way? They're not going to go out and research stuff. They listen to what the media tells them,
that's the
and
problem.
they run with it.
Let me ask you a question, James. Let me ask you a quick question. You being a young black man, I read a lot of stuff, and you probably do too. But I'm reading where I know blacks under Trump did really well, and I read a lot about how the black vote and women vote are really starting to come to Trump because of Biden and the Democrat parties. Do you feel that? Do you see that at all happening at all? Because you're going to be in a better position probably to know that than a lot of people.
Well, I definitely do. And the reason that I see it is because I've been arguing with people online and everything since Trump ran the first time. So you see the transition as the people start moving over. But as you talk to them, you understand that, one, there's a lot of things that Trump did that they don't even know that he did, as far as HBCUs, the First Step Act, and everything else. And then the ones that do know about those things, they have bad information because they got it from one of the fake news networks. Like, they tried to give Barack Obama credit for the First Step Act when you can't do that.
But let me ask you a question. Going back to what you said, which makes a lot of sense to me. If the Republican Party will start reaching back, reaching up, whatever you want to call it, to the minority community, it seems like to me what you're telling me is, Moon, people are tired of what the Democrats and all that have promised. They've been promising stuff to minorities for 70, 80 years, and it hadn't delivered at all. It never will, because they can't deliver it. So what you're telling me, if you reach back and say, here's what y'all done, here's what Trump done, here's what was going on with Trump, you could probably explain that to a lot of people and it would catch on. Is that pretty much what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. The thing is, there'll be a lot of, unfortunately, and it's sad to say, but unfortunately, a lot of black people, especially on the lower education run, they're not going to take time to, go and research a lot of stuff. They're just being fed what they're told, and they're being fed a story on one side, but then it doesn't add up. But when you show people how it lines up with the border and everything else, I know just from myself personally talking to people, when I show them stuff and I send them YouTube videos and everything, this is what they said about Trump then. Look how it worked out, like the border crisis and everything that's going on.
But James,
right
what puzzles me? It puzzles me, and you said it, is that the promises made by elected officials, Democrats, especially to the minority community, I think Democrats, black and white, think they own the black population when it comes to vote. And it's a shame. I didn't say they did, but boy, they act like they do. And it's a shame because they've delivered. If me and you were to ride in every inner city in this country, we would see things that would make us sick to know that some Americans are living like that. And the Democrat Party don't care. They don't give a damn. They want you to vote. Vote for me. Vote for me. Vote for me. I promise. They don't promise. Everything they promise, none of it comes true. None of it ever will, James, because they can't deliver. Government is never delivered for the people in the whole world. The people have to deliver for themselves. Government is the byproduct of it. It's not because we're not hearing great because of government. We're hearing great because of the people. They're black, white, male, female. They're all kinds. That's why we became a great country, not because of government.
Yeah. Well, to the Democrats' credit, they are doing what they're aligning their business better than the Republicans in a way that what they're doing is working for them. If you look at every single Democratic policy, it forces you to be dependent upon them.
But it's not working. Hold up, though. It's working to win elections.
It's not working for the people.
There you go. That's what I was going to say. It's working to win elections. I wouldn't even argue with you, brother. But it ain't working for the people, and it never has, and it never will, because you're going to run out of other people's money. It's just a fact. Anyway, God bless you, man. Thanks. We got to go. We got to go. Thank you. You can call anytime. Thank you, James. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show. Don't go nowhere.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun season. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Oh, man, I love me some Superior Grill. Superior Grill, the best Mexican food in the state of Louisiana, bar none, baby. They are the best, and you're going to love them, too. They got great drinks and food, and the atmosphere is second to none. They know what they're doing. They know how to serve. Hey, folks, you do know they cater. They do cater. Superior Grill, located in New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette right around the corner. You're going to love Superior Grill. You're going to love the atmosphere. You're going to love the taste. They can handle anything you got. Folks, they got happy hours. They really serve the people. And you're going to love Superior Grill. I love it. You're going to love it. I cannot wait to go to Superior Grill. I've been going to Superior Grill now for 29 years. Let me tell you, I know all about Superior Grill. And I want good Mexican food. I'm going to Superior Grill. I want to see you there. We're going to have a blast.
The IRS.
This hour brought to you by Matthew James Tax and Wealth Management. Online at MatthewJames.com.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Great Monday, beautiful Monday, rainy Monday. But hey, we're living, so everything's okay. 844-766-6607. The number if you'd like to be part of the program. Your opportunity to be a voice. Big Supreme Court decision. Have somebody call me and let me know, yeah, they let him go on this one, but it's another one they're trying to get him on. Yeah, I know. I know how the game's played. Anyway, Donald Trump, 9-0 vote, cannot be taken off the ballots. There's some more Supreme Court stuff to come down, at least one more from dealing with Trump. Let's see how they handle that. Got a bunch of vindictive people on that Supreme Court to the left. They're all about politics and not about the truth and the Constitution. I promise you, Obama put you on the court. you're not about the Constitution or the truth. You can't. All right, let's go to Gerald out of Baton Rouge. Gerald, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Boone, thanks for taking the call. Look, I got a question. I got a ballot the other day in the mail, and it's the presidential candidates, and then one more column over is select one name out of three. And I've never heard of these people before. It's Republican committee, and then another column over, select 5 out of 10, I think.
Well, that's
and
the delegates.
Republican committee also.
That's the delegates.
What do these people do? What?
Well, no, those.
I don't know. I don't want to vote for a squish or something.
Those are the delegates. I'm just guessing on this, okay? Those are probably the delegates to go to the convention. What you're basically doing is you're voting for a bunch of delegates to go support Trump, or delegates to go support Nikki Haley, or delegates to go to support anybody else that may be on the ballot. I haven't seen the ballot. I'm not a Republican. Is there a Trump on the ballot?
Yeah.
Okay,
he's
then
at the bottom of the list. A bunch of other candidates for president too.
Okay, but when you got Trump for president, is there some delegates that go with Trump's name?
No, it doesn't identify what these delegates are for,
No, I didn't. Okay. Well, I don't have the ballot. Somebody have to explain it, but I know you're voting for presidential. You're voting for the president, but you're also voting for delegates. It's kind of a one or two-fold deal. There'll be delegates for Trump, delegates for these other people. Some of them may not have any delegates. So, yeah, I'm not the one. What you need to do, Jerry, you're a Republican?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you need to get in touch with somebody that in Republican politics that understands it, and they can probably explain it to you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't have, if I had the ballot in front of it, I'd probably get a little better idea. But you're voting for president, but you're also voting for delegates to the convention. And what happens is state central committee. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Yeah, and I'm not going to know the people, and I may know them, I may not know them. But Republicans get a chance. If you're a registered Republican, you can vote. So that's all it is. You're gonna have to. What happens on that? A lot of people don't know the people running for Central Committee and things of that nature, and they don't know who's running for the delegate deal. And you gotta make some phone calls. You got to find out. That's not stuff you see on TV every day and advertised. So you're gonna have to go, try to hunt that up yourself, brother. All right.
All right,
man.
Well,
all right. Take care.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. I was reading an article. Louisiana added a record number of jobs last year. What's behind the uptick? Gary Wagner, UL, University of Louisiana, Lafayette. Largest state ever had. Study authored by Wagner is based on data U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, which gathers self-reported numbers from employers. Other metrics like online platforms and count unique jobs posted suggest hiring in the state has been more modest than the federal data suggestion. Trend needs to be moving in the right way. So I did a little investigation. I knew this before I even investigated. And I've been hearing this for a while. And I told people last year, I said, the economy going to do good this year because it's election year. But the biggest reason the economy's doing anything at all is federal spending. They want to keep spending federal money through this election year. When the federal money goes away, we're in trouble. Let me give you an example. So you just got to go read, and you can call people. But I've been knowing about this. I talked to bankers and people that understand this stuff. Economic growth strong. Wow. What's next? Massive government spending and consumers using credit cards lift the GDP. Here's my question. All made up on a false economy. What happens when the federal government says, I ain't got any money, and you run out on your credit card? Just asking. What do you think happens when the federal government says, I ain't got no more money? What do you think happens when people say, I ain't got no more money on my credit card? What do you think? I'm asking y'all, what do you think is going to happen? The Bureau of Economic Analysis recently announced GDP 3.3%, the year 2.5%. What's fueling the growth? Most of it, due to increased government spending and higher than expected spending by consumers who are running their credit cards up. The increase in government spending occurred at both the federal level and the state level. Green New Deal money. They said in 2021, federal government gave free stimulus money. Average family got $11,400 free money, whether they were negatively impacted by COVID or not. And when they were given child care credit, most of the money was initially saved. By early 2023, consumers had drawn all that money from their savings and spent it. Yet consumers continue to spend. Total consumer credit card debt exceeded $1 trillion for the first time ever. And it has grown ever since then. Personal saving rates have gone down. So my question is, what do you do with the money when you ain't got none? And the federal money, government quit giving money to the universities for the Green New Deal. What do you do? What am I supposed to do? Just sit and go, oh, well, we'll do something else. It don't work that way. Because then the U.S. began adding $1 trillion debt every 3 months since last June. We're out of control. Nobody's listening because you're living, paying for everything. Me and you just rolling like we normally roll. Economic warning comes. Food stamp costs for family meals increased 31% over the last 3 years. Car insurance rates increased 26% nationally. And some states reported 44% increase. That's probably us. And a CEO just recommended, right here, Kellogg's CEO suggested, if you ain't got no money, eat cereal for dinner. So they want you. They don't want you eating meat, cereal. No secret, American families suffering under Joe Biden. Well, I keep voting for him. That's what I don't understand. Let's go to Joy in Abbeville. Joy, eat cereal, Joy. Just eat cereal and you okay, brother.
I hear you,
and
man.
Look, and by the way, just use, if you ain't got no more credit card, I don't know how you're going to get the cereal, but anyway, here we go.
Yep. I hear you, my brother. Listen, when you look around at all the buildings that were built with money from the state, helicopter buildings, what else along Highway 90, some of these new buildings that popped up from, economic development funds that are still vacant and empty. And then you were talking about elections. We got one coming up here for the Republican presidential primary or whatever. And then tagged on it is a tax on every property in our parish. Yearly tax.
I'd
it's
vote
not
no.
much, $6.50.
Hey, I'd vote no. I wouldn't even bat an eye. I don't care if it's for my mama. I don't care if it's for my mama. I go take care of my mama.
This is the question I had, and I asked them. So why doesn't every business get to put a property tax on to help support themselves? What are we doing for the existing businesses, private industry, to survive? But we're going to tax every piece of property in our parish $6.50 a year for 10 years, which is basically going to raise, let's just use a number, $2.5 million. Just think what kind of influx and what kind of help that would give your business if for 10 years you knew you had $2.5 million coming in. What would you do?
Think about that. If I knew I had $2.5 million coming in over the next 10 years, I'm sitting pretty dang good. I'm looking pretty. Of course, at the end of those 10 years, I may want to renew that. I might need a little more.
And that's what gets me. These tax elections get stuck on
on a nothing ballot.
That's right. And then you can't recall it. There's no way to recall a tax election. Anyway,
that's surprising.
What I've been harping on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right, brother. Appreciate the call.
Yep.
All right, thank you. Yeah. So when I read these numbers, massive government spending and consumers using credit cards, and folks, the data's there. Don't take my word. What the hell? I ain't nothing but talk shows. Don't take my word for it. All this Green New Deal money. I want to get to that when we close up the program. Brett Guyman, I love Brett. Brett made the point. He was right. It's coming. The Green New Deal, carbon cap, the money's coming. Especially in a red state. But I'll talk about why the money is dangerous. We should be telling them no. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. Take a break. Be right back. Spring is here, and if you love seafood like I do, you need Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Ragin' Cajun's delicious seafood dinners like etouffee, Creole sauce, shrimp and grits, seafood bisque, gumbo and roux. All Ragin' Cajun products are made right here in Acadiana. Folks, trust me, they are good. Ask for the Ragin' Cajun and all your favorite grocery stores today. Ragin' Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Ask them for the Ragin' Cajun. Folks, I want to tell you about one of my new advertisers, Adapt Concepts AC Service Repairs. Serving all of Acadiana, surrounding areas, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. Full-service AC and heating company. Repairs, installation, and preventive maintenance, which is very, very important. Installation service, professional quality services, focus on creating value for you. Terms of certified technician, 24/7 customer service, and free consultation. I'm talking Adapt Concepts, AC Service Repairs. You want the professionals, you want the best, this is them. Purchase a qualified high-efficient system for maintenance, plus get a free 12-year parts and labor warranty. Wow, don't you want to know about that? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202, or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah.
We are management.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. Matthew James Tax Wealth Management Hotline. By the way, one quick story. Oregon lawmakers passed bill to recriminalize drug possession. Oh, big drugs. We got them free. Oh, no. All this stuff comes back around, folks. The left is crazy, and we need to realize that. Oregon legislature passed a bill to recriminalize the possession of small amount of drugs. Why? Because it's led to worse and worse and worse and worse and worse effects. You shouldn't even went there. Undoing a key part of the state's first in the nation drug decriminalization law as government struggled to respond to the deadliest overdose crisis in the U.S. history. Well, we didn't see that coming, did we? San Francisco's next, Chicago. I mean, it's just doubling down on our commitment to make sure Oregonians have access to the treatment and care they need. The passage of this will be the start of the real transformative change in our justice system. I bet if they were the devil's advocate was in Oregon, woo, they'd be ripping their heads off for doing this. How dare you do this? The measure makes possession of a small amount of drugs, such as heroin, a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 6 months in jail. Enables police to confiscate the drugs and crack down on the use of them sidewalks and the parks. Drug treatment is offered as an alternative to criminal penalties. Good luck with that. Making it easier to prosecute people who sell drugs. It increases access to addictive medication. I mean, it just created something that never should have been created. Let's go to Paul out of Bossier. Paul, what's going on?
Well, it's crazy morning this morning, but I was following this stuff on the Supreme Court, and everybody assumed it was going to be 9-0 on this one. This was a no-brainer. But the big case coming up, and that's according to Andy McCarthy, he was talking about. He said the one that's going to be problematic for Trump is the immunity, the presidential immunity to do business, and that's really what they're going after on Trump.
Okay,
and
what
that's dealing with those documents.
What is the immunity? What case are we talking about? Man, they got so much stuff at Trump. Catch me up.
Oh, I know. If this is over the documents where he took the documents to Mar-a-Lago, the same thing every president's done, and the courts have already ruled that presidents have immunity.
By the way, answer this question. Who got hurt by President Trump taking some boxes to his Mar-a-Lago? Who got hurt? Anybody got hurt, did you know of?
Well, I know nobody got hurt, and Trump didn't take the boxes, the information illegally besides. But you're right. He didn't expose anybody. He didn't have hundreds of top secret classified documents sitting next to his Corvette, exposed to the weather in the garage. He had his stuff in a secured area. But what happens is, by the rules of the federal court, and this case is probably going to be in trial after Labor Day, early after Labor Day in September. And by the rules, the defendant in federal court has to be there every day. And that's going to be the deal. As long as that trial's going on, and it will take a while. It won't be a one or day.
No, and Paul, here's the thing. It's another setup by the left. It's another setup by the left. If the Supreme Court can't see it, they're being foolish. It's another setup by the left to take Trump, take his money, put him in a position he can't run, anything they can to beat Donald Trump. It's gotten to be sick to even watch.
Yeah, and I got a little information on the Republican stuff. The election's the 23rd, and you just go. Everybody goes and votes, and all the people that were on the ballot already. And I've got my absentee ballot. I'm looking at it. All the people that are still on there, all the ones that declared to run. You can still pull the lever for them if you want to.
No, but let me ask you a question.
And then they have a caucus in Louisiana.
That's what I want you to go. Go to the rest of the story, because this guy that called, if he's still listening.
Yeah, you have a caucus. I think it's a week or two after that, and you pay a $50 or $100. You got alternate delegates and the permanent delegate, the one that goes, and they tell you in the letter, the Republican Party does, and tells you that be ready to spend $3,000 to $5,000 to be a delegate at the convention out of your pocket if you get nominated. But they have a separate caucus for that. But it doesn't change the number of delegates that Trump will get or anybody else, the way they proportion them. So there's a Republican caucus. I think the one in Shreveport, I can't remember exactly which location it's going to be, but they'll have separate locations. And the real activist Republicans that actually want to go to the convention, that's what you're choosing, and it doesn't change anything.
By the way, and that's people that are really active, because the gentleman that called, he didn't sound like he was real active in that kind of stuff. So if you don't know, you won't go. You got to almost beg people to go out to those caucuses. I can promise you. I've been involved with them before.
Yeah.
I was a delegate.
What's going on in Louisiana.
Yeah, I was a delegate for Phil Gramm back in the day. So I got to go when they went to San Diego.
I remember Phil Gramm.
Yeah, I got to go when he was a pretty fiscal hawk. So that's what. Anyway, look, I got to go, Paul. Appreciate it.
Sure.
All right, appreciate it. Let's go. TBN Lafayette. CBN Lafayette.
How's it going, Mo?
Going fine, sir.
I read about what.
All right, we lost him. All right, no big deal. I'll have to get him back next time. The one I didn't get to, and I'll get to in the third hour. How does Louisiana cut industry greenhouse gas emissions? And then UL Lafayette helping fuel Louisiana's energy manager with historical grant. In other words, the federal government gave him money to run the oil and gas industry, and UL is going to do it along with other universities in the state. I'll get to that in the third hour. And all this money, all this stuff I'm telling y'all about is all federally driven. And they're gonna beat us back in the state of Louisiana with our own people and get rid of slaughtered oil and gas industry. That's what we're looking at. UL got this big grant, some other university, LSU and all this, and they got these big old grants, man. All the federal government's doing is say, hey, y'all want some money? All y'all got to do is be pro-green energy, anti-fossil fuels, and print and write and research the stuff we want. We got a lot of money for y'all. They're going to use our own universities. They're going to use our own industries to bury the most important invention that's ever come across in the history of the world and of the United States oil and gas industry, and how to get it out the ground in the ocean, and how we made our lives so much better and food cheap. They're going to bury it. They're going to bury us. And I guarantee you nobody's going to talk about how cheap it's going to be, because it's going to be mega expensive. And we're not going to be able to do it and be ration energy. That's what bothers me about what I'm watching. But anyway, that in the third hour of the program, $160 million over the next 10 years from the National Science Foundation. They're literally down here buying oil and gas, buying chemical plants, and buying the universities that teach all this crazy stuff. I'll get to this more in the third hour of the program. You want to listen more? MoonGriffon.com. Listen live. The rest of you, God bless. Have a great day.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station broadcasting from the Matthew James Financial Studio.
This is a Fox News alert. The former president stays on the ballot. I'm Lisa Brady. In a unanimous ruling, the U.S. Supreme Court says Colorado cannot remove former President Trump from the primary ballot. Opponents cited an insurrection clause in the Constitution. The Supreme Court says enforcing that clause is up to Congress, not the states, which extends to the other 2 states where similar efforts were underway, Maine and Illinois.
The concern for the court is that many states could remove somebody, and then a small group of states would decide who gets to be president by removing the other candidate.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence at the White House.
Now, the court did not decide on if former President Trump committed insurrection. They merely looked at whether states have the right and ability to remove certain people as presidential candidates.
The former president plans to speak soon. Earlier, posting on Truth Social, big win for America. A settlement is reached in an election-related lawsuit in Wisconsin. 2 attorneys for then President Trump turning over hundreds of pages of evidence, including emails and text messages, detailing a plan for fake electors to file paperwork, falsely claiming a Trump win in Wisconsin in 2020 to overturn the election results. A civil lawsuit brought by Democrats in 2022 also accused 10 Republicans who posed as fake electors. They had already settled. The Trump Organization's former chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, just pleaded guilty to 2 counts of perjury brought by the Manhattan DA's office.
The charges stem from his admission of lying in depositions and on the witness stand during testimony at former President Trump's recent civil fraud trial. Prosecutors agreed to a sentence of 5 months behind bars, and sentencing is set for April 10th. Weisselberg has already spent nearly 100 days in jail at Rikers Island due to a guilty plea in a tax fraud case against the Trump Organization.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America is listening to Fox News.
After 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation promised to make sure that we never forget. And since then, they have been supporting American heroes and their families. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Michael Hook. He was killed in Iraq. And Hook left behind a pregnant fiancée who gave birth to a son that he would never meet. Tunnel to Towers stepped up. They paid off the mortgage on their home. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org. The letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Pure Talk believes in American values and that free should mean exactly that, free. Well, switch to Pure Talk today and you'll get a free Samsung 5G smartphone. Now, qualifying plans start at just $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, 15 gigs of data, and, of course, mobile hotspot. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk, claim your eligibility for your free brand new Samsung 5G smartphone. Start saving on wireless today and switch to my cell phone company, Pure Talk.
Congressional leaders unveil a plan to fund the government and avoid a shutdown.
The more than 1,000-page piece of legislation is a package of 6 bills to fund departments like Agriculture, the Food and Drug Administration, Department of Justice, and others. Republicans have touted cuts to the FBI, ATF, EPA, and FDA, while Democrats like Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer claim the bill fully funds a federal food program aimed at women, infants, and children. Congress will need to vote on the bill by Friday to avoid a partial government shutdown, and Speaker Mike Johnson has pledged at least 72 hours for members to read the text.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. There's a March 22nd deadline to pass another 6 appropriations bills to fund other government agencies. Congress passed a 1-week spending bill avoiding a shutdown last week and buying more time to work on the bills. Setbacks in the ongoing push for another ceasefire in Gaza. Israel skipping the latest round of talks in Egypt amid reports that Hamas rejected a demand for a list of the hostages still alive. A teacher at a Boston school is on leave, accused of restraining a special needs student to a chair.
Duct tape and nylon straps to restrain a student with special needs, and officials at the South Boston school are blaming a teacher. Boston Public Schools Superintendent Mary Skipper called the accusations deeply concerning. Region 2 School Superintendent Mary Driscoll called the use of restraints on students inappropriate, adding, "The Condon kindergarten to 8th grade school is working to provide all students with learning opportunities in safe and welcoming spaces." The district did not name the teacher and other staff members who were placed on leave. CJ Papa, Fox News.
The Boston mayor says it's under investigation and that officials are reaching out to the student's family. Stocks are lower. The Dow's down 74 points, but still over 39K. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.